All right, we are live. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. I think this is if it count Artcasters, the show I do with my friend Joshua Kimball. I think this is the third live stream I've done this week. And there's only, that's starting the beginning Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is the last live stream, at least for a little bit, because this is it's pretty much the last night for my Kickstarter for my comic book project, Young and the Dead, No Zombies Allowed, Kids versus Zombie Adventure Story. If you love movies like Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., more recently Stranger Things, or the Star Wars version of that kind of storytelling, Skeleton Crew, all that kind of stuff, you will totally dig it. This is the complete volume, trade paperback. It's super thick. 164 pages, I believe. Lots of little extras and cool stuff in here. It is like, I think as I'm recording this now, there's like 10 hours left, so not much time left if you want to back this project. So please do so if you haven't already. What we're doing today, let me kind of switch over, is I have some sketch cards. So one of the tiers that I have, when I first launched the project, I set a tier with these $5 sketch cards. And I mean, for $5 to get an original piece of artwork, like, that's crazy. But that's just to kind of boost the anticipation for the campaign and everything. And these are add-ons. So if you back at a physical level where you get a physical book, I can't do it digital because I'm not shipping anything digitally. Physical media anyway, not shipping. If you back at a physical level, you can, and I think there's still a few of these on there. So when I first launched, they sold out really quick. But then there were so many people like, oh, I missed out. So I said, okay, I'm going to do 10 more of these sketch cards. And I put them up there. Now, if you've already backed the project and you didn't get one, jump on there and see if you can adjust your pledge to add one for just $5. Or if you haven't backed yet and you want one of these, jump on that, because I don't know how many are left, if any. But I've got to draw 10 more of these now. So I've got these. Now, I kind of lied to you guys when I put up the thumbnail that I said, can I draw 10 sketch cards in 90 minutes, which is about how long this live stream will go. I already penciled them out, because if you've been watching these live streams, I pencil really lightly, and it's just like, so it's basically me live streaming and the camera's not picking it up. Like, you can't even barely see it now. This is actually, see, it'll focus. Can you see that? It's a Tron zombie. There. So I've got 10 more that I've sketched out. So they're kind of already pre-drawn, but still I've got to ink them and color them and everything. Because I want to, like I said, the campaign, this is the last 10 hours, and I want to have this stuff done. I want to have everything ready to go. As soon as I get the money from Kickstarter, I'm having the books printed. And so right now, it's going to cover basically the cost for me to do this, about as much as I've raised now, to do an offset print run of this trade paperback. But I still have other things that I got to print, like, the single issues, got to pay for the shipping and everything, all little extras. So some of that right now is going to be out of my pocket. And the reason why that is so if you saw, my initial goal was for like $1,200, which we hit right away, which is awesome. That was basically if I was to do like bare minimum, and this might get a little technical for some people, but there's print on demand, which you can do as low as like one copy, or maybe not one. I think the minimum is like 25 copies most places of a book through print on demand. And it's basically like they're doing it digitally. They're running it through basically what the equivalent of like a copy machine, and then putting it all together. Offset printing is a little differently. You can get the price of the books down really, really well, but you have to order like, numbers of like 1,000 or 500 to 1,000, around that quantity. So that initial goal was just to do bare minimum print on demand. And I said, if I could get to 3,800, then I could do this. And then, you know what? I was like, I don't think we're going to hit that. We may, that'd be great. But I just decided I'm going to pay the rest out of pocket if I have to, because I really want to do a really nice book for you guys. So, but if you guys if you guys have them back and you want to help me out, if we can bring that up a little more, that's less out of pocket. Now, that isn't to say, and we'll get to the sketch cards soon, I'm sorry. And plus, I'm kind of waiting for people to trickle in and in the chat and stuff like that. But that isn't to say, it's not like I'm really losing money, because the good thing is once I get all these printed, I mean, you guys as backers are paying for my print run. So any of these that I sell after the fact, it's pure profit. So if I sell a book like this for around 20, 25 bucks, then that, then I get that money. So I'm not going to lose money, but I don't know. Can I sell that many of these? We'll see. I'm not doing as many shows and things like that. And I'm not planning on it because they're kind of a bear to do. But I do have to hustle once I get this book done. So we'll see, but anyway, I am looking to hopefully, go out with a bang these last 10 hours. So if you haven't already backed, and that's kind of going in the middle of the night for most people in the US. So most people are just gonna be sleeping. So there's really not a whole lot of time left. If you're thinking about backing, back it now. Now there is going to be a late, I think there's a late backer thing that Kickstarter allowed me to do. So after the campaign wraps up, I think for a little while anyway, maybe until I start shipping stuff, you can still back, but there's an extra fee, like a few extra bucks to each tier after that. So you don't want to wait for that if you don't have to. But if, for instance, the campaign wraps up, early morning Thursday, and you get paid on Friday, and like, oh, I really wanted to back it. I think there will be some late backer tier things that you can back a little late until I get to that point. So there is I don't want to say there's a little more time, and I don't want you guys to pay extra if you don't have to. So please, if you can back it. Like I said, I'm really happy with this book, the way it came out. I just finished. I did all the graphic design in the middle, and the insides, all the chapter breaks have tons of little nostalgic callbacks and things like that. There's some original art by different artists in the back. So yeah, definitely check it out. Check it out. And if you got all the previous issues and you don't want the full thing, if you're more of a single issue collector, then the final issue number 6, is available. Now I'm holding these up. These are just mock-ups. Like if you look, there's just a sketch cover in there. So they're not actually printed yet, but I want something to show you pretty much what it's going to look like when it is printed. But let's stop wasting time here and get to these sketch cards, so you can kind of see what some of the other ones look like. I have some that I put aside that are already spoken for. If you see any of these you particularly like, I'm not really doing any custom ones, but if you see any you like and you've backed it, send me an email at scott@circworks.com or message me through Kickstarter. Don't message me through Kickstarter because I saw a few messages that I didn't get for some reason. So message me at scott@circworks.com and let me know, say, oh, I really want this Mr. T one, and you back that, let me know and I can put that away if it's still available. So now I'm going to do some new ones. So maybe there's some of the new ones that you guys haven't seen yet. So let's like I said, this first one is a Tron. I was hoping to do a sketch cover. Like the last live stream I did this on a sketch on the stream. It's kind of a Red Dawn callback. And then I've also did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on a stream. But I'm just gonna do these little sketch cards. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you guys hopefully can see a little better. I just got to remember to keep, because I have a tendency to draw close to me. So if let me know in the chat if I start if you're not able to see the sketch here. So just to make it a little more interesting, put some other stuff here so it's not just something cool to look at while I'm drawing. All right, so I'm going to put on my little glove there, so I don't. With these, it's actually not that. I usually do it with the sketch cover because my hand's going over it, but this is so small, my hand probably isn't. Maybe I don't even need that. So, all right, so we're going to start with my my Fude. I think this is a zebra brush pen. I'm going to start with this, and we're just going to start doing some illustrations. And if you guys have any questions or anything in the chat, let me know. Again, this is sort of impromptu, so sometimes people trickle in a little later, but but I know there are people. It says that there's people watching, so don't be shy. Oh, there we go. We got Budget Bonsai in the chat. Hello, Circleworks Art Labs and everyone. How's it going? So yeah, don't be shy in the chat. If you guys have questions, let me know. So I'm gonna get started with this Tron zombie sketch card. So yeah, I usually start. I typically with these sketch cards and stuff, I'll start top to bottom. That way, I'm not kind of going over it. They drop the ink dries pretty quick, but it will smudge if you get a little overzealous. So I try to work from top to bottom. But this is a fun one. This would be a fun one to do a whole sketch cover with. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, if you happen to be local to Arizona, I will be doing sketches at Surprise Comics in Surprise, Arizona on Saturday, Free Comic Book Day. And if you're not in Arizona, you may be in a place where you have a comic book store near you. Chances are they are probably doing some kind of event for Free Comic Book Day. So go out and get yourself some free comics and support your comic store. And if they're, chances are they might even have some other artists there doing either sketches or selling their wares or whatever. I don't know if I'll be bringing my books to sell because I'm so close to having the trade, and I've only got a few copies of the other ones. And I want those to go out to the Kickstarter, because the thing is, once you complete a trade like this, other than issue number 1, a lot of those other issues, they just stop selling because people, like, if they can get the whole story, they just want to buy the whole story. So I don't want to order a whole bunch of new ones. So I'm gonna kind of keep, I'm gonna keep hold of the ones that the single issues that I already have, because I'm close to selling out, which is good because I don't want to be left with a lot of those single issues because yeah, I mean, like I said, they don't sell as well afterwards. So, and here I'm talking, and I can usually sketch do these inks a little faster, and I'm going a little slow. So at this pace, I might not be able to get those 10 done in that 90 minutes, but we'll see. It's kind of hard for me to draw and talk at the same time, but I got to get used to it, because now that this project is wrapped up, we do have, let's see, do we have questions? What pen am I using? Okay, yeah, it's a very common question. So it's in Japanese, so I'm not 100% sure. I think this is a Zebra. Is this a Zebra Fude brush pen? I think. I'll tell you what. I don't know if it's in this video. I know there's some of my older videos where there's a link to I have an Amazon link, and I don't think it's in this video, but in some of my older, if you go back to some of my older comic videos, there's probably a list of tools or something. Or no, I think it might be in each one of my videos. I think there's a link to my Amazon store, and if you go there, there's a lot of the tools that I use, and this one's listed there. So if you go to, I think there's a list of my tools and stuff. And if it's not on this, if it's not on the live stream, it's probably on some of the pre-recorded videos. But there's a link to this particular pen. So yeah, so that's one of the, I mean, I really do like this pen a lot. Now, typically, if I'm doing something if I'm doing something that I need to have a little tighter, like here, I'll show you this. I did this for Surprise Comics too. I don't know if we got, and I did a video of me drawing this, but we're so close we can't even see the whole thing. But this I wanted a little more detail, so I actually used a brush and everything. But this is like a Joker Harley Quinn promotion I did for Surprise Comics for Batman Day promotion there. I'll probably bring some of these with me to the store. These giant playing cards. But if I want something a little more detailed, I'll use an actual, a brush and ink. But for something like this, especially if I'm going to do a signing and do sketches, like mobile, I'm not gonna bring like something that you dip and it could get tipped over or whatever. So these are perfect for that. And I've got a few of these, so I really do like these pens. Now, now with any kind of tool, you may try this, you may not even like it, or maybe you just don't. I mean, just because it's my favorite pen, that doesn't mean it's going to be yours. So, but I definitely understand the question asking what different pens are, because I'm curious too when I see somebody using something unique, like I saw somebody using these. This is what I use when I do my remarks to white things out, or to do, to put white on and stuff like that. And I've seen people use Posca markers, but then I saw these, and I really dig these. Molotow All for One, just white acrylic paint pens. So, so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'll have to check that out. And it's really just experimentation. You order. I mean, you just try things out and see what works best for you. So with this Tron zombie, I want him. I want the like all the circuitry and stuff here to kind of be messed up as well. You can see like one of the little things falling off here, off the helmet, and then I want some of this thing to be broken. Now, of course, these are little $5 sketches. I mean, and that's only for the. I mean, I wouldn't do a $5 sketch like this. Like if you come to me at Free Comic Book Day, this is probably going to cost you $30 or $25 or something like that, to do something like this. But because it's the Kickstarter, and I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get some interest in there and get people to back, then I'm willing to do some of these as extras. But because it's a quick sketch, I'm not going to put as much detail as I would, something else. But I still think they look pretty awesome. If you ask me, I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. So, but yeah. So all of these, like I said, all of these are going to be themed around 80s movies, or things from the 80s pop culture, but with zombies. And what we're going to do is we're going to ink them all first. And then after that, see, I'm going to put some like wires or guts. It's a little, we're not really sure if he's like what he's made of. I mean, he's a zombie, but he's also like a digital creation. So, I just got sidetracked. I forgot what I was saying. But I am kind of I'm excited to do more live streaming, because with the next project I do after I wrap up, oh, thanks, volunteering to be a mod. Yeah, that's something that right now I don't have a bunch of people tuning in as I'm going live, but I really do want to build that audience. And when I get to that point, I'm definitely going to need some people to help out with mods. So yeah, definitely throw your hat in the ring for that, and then we'll look. Yeah, but that leads to what I was saying, is that for my next project, I really want this since it's the last issue of this particular book. There's a lot of spoilers, so I didn't really share a whole lot in that process. But with my next project, I really want to share the whole project, because I want to really build anticipation for it, and it's going to be super fun. So I'll probably be doing more live streaming, and yeah, so we'll see. So a lot more YouTube content. I got to kind of figure out where I'm going with YouTube, and because I've also, in addition to the comic stuff I also do these retro reventifications where I take old, ephemera and collectibles and stuff like that from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, kind of the Gen X era, and then I put a weird spin on it. Like I'll take, instead of fun dip, I'll make sad dip, and I'll make all the flavors crazy and gross, and I've reinvented like color forms with giant kaiju and all kinds of crazy stuff. So those are real fun videos, but they take a long time to do. So I may do a separate channel for that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out kind of what all I'm going to do moving forward. But anyway, that's a little kind of inside baseball. All right, so there's that, and then I'm going to sign it, and we're going to color all these in later. We'll sign it on the front, and then also on the back. So one down. Let's see what we're doing on time. Now I did a lot of extra. So we're already 20 minutes in because I was talking a lot about stuff. But so I'm not. I'm way behind. We got to pick up the pace here. If I'm going to be able to do, and if I can't do 10, no big deal, But oh, you found it? Did you find it? So Budget Bonsai, did you find it through that link I sent, or did you just type it in and find it? All right. So this one is a zombie kind of holding a Polaroid camera, and even though I mean Polaroid cameras are kind of, I think they kind of came back a little bit and sort of in vogue, but this is kind of the original. Because I don't know when they came out. If they came out like around the 70s but they were definitely popular during the 80s. And if you're not familiar with what a Polaroid camera is, it's the ones that like print out the the photo right there. You shake them, and then you don't actually have to shake them, but everyone thought, oh, if you shake it, it'll develop faster. But here. But here we got the zombie kind of taking the Polaroid picture. I think maybe the Tron just might have took a little longer. This one's going a little quicker. Okay, so there's a little flash up here. It's just funny to think how far we've come with technology that now you can do so much more with just the phone that's in your pocket. And now you can just print out photos, printer, and they have, little printers and things too. But this was just think about it. Before, when you had to go to like what was called a Photomat, which was this place. There were different places, but there was a company called Photomat, and it was like this little hut. And it would just be in like a parking lot somewhere. I think you might have seen. I think they had one in Back to the Future. I think they showed one there. I think when they were first doing the test for the time machine. But yeah, this little tiny little hut where they develop pictures. You take them in, and it usually took about 24 hours to develop, maybe more back then. I don't know. But now you just digitally do it, print it out, no big deal. It's crazy. Yeah, but with Young and the Dead, I had so much fun just doing callbacks to a lot of those things that you'd see in the 80s. Like if you look in the back of the kid's bedroom, there's a lot of little Easter eggs and callbacks to like toys and stuff I had as a kid. But but there's so much more that I could have added too that I just didn't have time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I've got to remember to draw it further. I could pull the camera back out so you can see more, but then it's going to be a little bit, harder to see. I'll keep reminding me if I'm not showing everything. All right. Now this one will want to add some blacks too. What's do I have any? God, this is a little. This is kind of thick, but it should work. And then, just tighten it up here. So here we go. All right. We got. Hey, Chris, how's it going? We got Chris in the chat. All right. I think that's going to do it for this guy. Oh, okay. So that's 2 down. As far as the inks anyway, still got to color them. Oh, this one's fun. So this is a zombie wearing 3D glasses. Just kind of like this. You see these? Because I've actually got a 3D print. Oh, I should mention that. So if you back at the physical level, we hit the stretch goal where everyone that backs at the physical level gets this 3D print. You get that, plus you get this. Anyone that backs at the physical level gets this zombie apocalypse survival guide. So you can keep track of all the different things you need to know during a zombie apocalypse. So those are both available if you back at the physical level. And there's a bunch of different tiers to do that. But right now, we're going to do our 3D glasses. Now, because these are going to be all done in this green color, I won't be able to do the red and blue, but I'll probably do like a light green and a darker green just to show that they're different. That there's a little different colors going on there. The zombies are so much fun to draw because they're you can kind of be messy with it and it still looks pretty good because they're all decomposing and stuff like that. Monsters in general, I love drawing monsters and things. Now the next comic book project that I work on is going to be a little different. It's going to be more robot kind of based, so it's going to be a lot more like technical stuff, and because as much as I like drawing monsters and robots, monsters and zombies and things like that, I also like drawing robots. So there's going to be a lot more technical stuff. But it's also going to have, because it's got a hip hop theme to it, so it's going to be very kind of graffiti style, which I haven't really decided on the actual style yet. That's something I got to experiment with. But it's definitely going to be a different kind of look. So I wanted to. It's going to kind of cross over between super technical and kind of loose and graffiti type, but there's going to be tons and tons of detail. So maybe not like Jeff Darrow levels of detail. I don't think I can go that crazy, but nonetheless, lots of detail. All right, so he's going to be reading a 3D comic. Because why not? I used to love 3D comic. I had a few growing up, and they were just super cool. And I don't know if I'd ever make a 3D comic myself. Like, I like the fact that I know how to make, 3D artwork, but to do this for a whole comic, that's got to be crazy. I don't know if I could do that. But it would kind of be cool. Like if I struck it rich or something, I could pay somebody to do all that, then maybe that would be fun, because it would be cool to have a full 3D comic. But you don't see too many like 3D comics anymore. It used to be a big thing. So this is just gonna be the zombie. And then 3D. I'm kind of obscuring it again. And then, of course, we'll give the 3D treatment coming at you. Okay. And then on the back. right. So we got 3 down. Okay, it's kind of. I had to do this one. This is a zombie Care Bear. I remember when we were kids, and I was in junior high. I think it was junior high. No, it might have been. It might have been like 6th grade. At a class, and Care Bears were kind of like all the rage at the time. But each table, there were little groups of tables, got to pick a Care Bear, and my table, because I think it was me, and I think we had another guy that was sort of like the artist in class. We wanted to create our own Care Bear. We didn't want like one of the normal Care Bears. So I'll put a little like stuffing coming out, but also maybe brains. Like he's partially human, partially made of fluff. Even though this is just kind of you probably can't even tell that. But anyway, what I was saying was, it was just kind of a way to indicate whose table was what. Like one table would be, I don't know what the different Care Bears were. Was it Tenderheart or something? I don't know, or Thunder something heart, or I don't know. There's different. I know there's probably a grumpy one or something like that. But everyone got to pick a Care Bear for the tables, but we wanted to make our own. So we made this. Ours was called Bogus Bear, and he was just like our own kind of Care Bear, but he was kind of like a badass Care Bear because we didn't want to do the other ones. But so I just kind of had to do a little homage to that with a zombie Care Bear. Okay, when the Kickstarter ends, will I still have printed graphic novels available? Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Like what I was explaining earlier, was I'm getting like 500 of these made, which is just this is gonna take up most of the money I'm making from that I'm earning from Kickstarter just to print these, and then I still have all this other stuff to print. But instead of just doing a short run, I want to because I'm so happy with this, and I'm looking forward to selling this. So yeah, this will be available. Eventually it'll be available on my website, and if I do shows or whatever. So that's the whole thing, is that I'm running a Kickstarter to support the print run for this thing. So yeah, there will be some available. Now, granted, you're not going to get all the extras and things like that, all the extras and things that you're getting with the Kickstarter. But the books themselves, yeah, they will be available. I don't know when. It'll probably be a little while after the Kickstarter, and everyone. I want to make sure all the people that back the Kickstarter get theirs first. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay. So he's got his hands are kind of on his face here, and then make sure we have some stuffing coming out, and he's just all messed up. And I'm going to make a bony like finger, like a skeletal finger, like that's coming out of his one hand here. All right, just put some. He's got to have some scratches and dirt on him, and then for his heart, since zombies like to eat body parts, he's going to have a heart with a big chunk out of it. How about that? That's kind of a fun one. And like I said, these sketch cards that I'm doing right now, if you're backing at the physical level, assuming there's still some left, you can buy for $5. You can add one of these to your whatever pledge level you're at, assuming that they're not all gone yet. And then, like I said, if you want one of these in particular, just reach out to me at scott@circworks.com and say, "Oh, I want that zombie Care Bear." And then, if it's not already spoken for, I'll put your name on it. And then when I ship these things out, you got it. All right. So we got the zombie Care Bear now, and yeah, we're doing. I think we're catching up on time. So let me signature. Okay. All right. So how many we got? 4 done, I think. Yeah, we got 4 out of the way. So once we get this one, we'll be halfway through. Okay, this is Bender from The Breakfast Club in the classic pose where he's kind of at the end of the movie where he's holding his hand up. If you haven't seen The Breakfast Club, man, that's a great movie. So Zombie Bender. I think I saw some photos online of like the original cast, I think all of them kind of getting back together for like a photo shoot. And I've been watching my girlfriend and I have been watching the Jack Reacher, and Anthony Michael Hall is in it. He kind of plays sort of the main bad guy. I don't want to give too much spoilers, but there's kind of more to him. It seems like we're only like 3 episodes in, but it seems like there might be more to him than just the typical bad guy. But yeah, it's just kind of cool to see him and I've seen him in stuff, throughout the years. I know for a while he was in a reboot of like the Dead Zone and stuff. So I've seen him here and there, but he seems like he's still definitely getting some work, and that's a pretty popular show, I think. So good for him. The other guys, I haven't seen much of them lately. Not even for a while. Emilio Estevez was in everything, and I haven't seen much. Ali Sheedy, Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with those guys, but did see Anthony Michael Hall in the Reacher show. All right. Let's see. So he's got kind of a jean jacket, and then underneath he's got a flannel. I think it's a jean jacket. Maybe it's not a jean jacket. Again, I think it is. I don't know. I was looking at reference when I drew these, but then I don't have the reference in front of me, so maybe I should have pulled those up. But yeah, here we go. You got Simple Minds playing in the background. Don't You Forget About Me. Classic scene. All right. Got him. Now he actually wears gloves, but I kind of want to show like the gnarled kind of zombie fist with some things hanging off of there. And he's got some little buttons here throughout his jacket. Flannel. Oh yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I basically, as far as surpassing the goal, I hit like basically I hit the initial goal pretty well, but that initial goal was basically just to do a limited print on demand run, and which but so if I do these print on demand, they probably cost around maybe like $12, $13 for one of these. If I do but you can get like 25 or limited amounts. So that was kind of to do that original goal is I could do print on demand and at least get some out to everyone. Now, in order to do what I'm doing now, I really need to be closer to 3,800 because just to print 500 of these through the offset printing, it gets the price down to about $5 each, which is awesome. So there's more profit there, but you have to order around like minimum of 500, So this print run is going to cost about most of what I'm getting from Kickstarter. And then I still have to do all the, I didn't have to do that, but I said, even if I don't hit that other goal that I was looking to hit, I'm still going to do the big print run because for one, it's better quality. I can do more with the book. So but I still have to pay to. I'm still gonna have to pay to ship all that stuff and all that. So, but it's all good because eventually I'll get my money back because once I start selling these, because it's funded on Kickstarter, I can, I'll I can sell these for say 20, 25 bucks and the print run's paid for. So that's the good thing. Now that leads to the next thing where I actually have to figure out how to sell, 500 to like 1,000 copies of these things, which that's going to take some hustling. So, all right. So we got our bender. So all that is to say that if you have the wherewithal and you want to back the project, there's probably about 10 hours left to do that. All right. What's next? Okay. Oh, a sloth. This one's Sloth from the Goonies. A sloth zombie. So, I mean, Sloth is already kind of distorted, but we're just going to add a little more distortion to him and make him a zombie. So he's kind of got a little bit of the, not quite a cone head, but he's got a little bit of a dome head. And then we're going to make some of his brains kind of showing here. One eye is kind of drooping down here, of course. And then we'll give him, like his nose is kind of falling off. That'll make him look a little more like a zombie. Now he's already kind of got the messed up teeth like I always draw with my zombies. So there's not going to be much difference there. So we've got to figure out how to make him. Now, sometimes when I draw zombies, sometimes I'll draw ears. Sometimes those ears have fallen off. But with Sloth, he's kind of got two different size ears. So I want to keep his ears intact, but and have one sort of bigger than the other and have sort of the skin just kind of falling off. Put some muscle and stuff in between there. It's kind of, the camera's kind of a little fuzzy, but I'm doing the best I can. All right, yeah, so this is a fun one. So he has sort of the tufts of hair kind of coming off. And of course, we have to do the classic Superman pose, pulling at the suspenders with his kind of gnarled fingers. All right. I'm starting. I think I'll put so we can see his tongue. Doing some stuff in his mouth here. And gotta do the Superman logo as best we can, anyway. Dirty it up a little bit. But yeah, I think that's slothy enough. All right. Let's see how my camera's doing. Oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna let's see. Let me change out the battery in my camera before it goes dead. So I'm gonna switch over here, and just let me change this out here. I swear I need to get a different system for doing this. Just need a couple minutes for that to, not minutes, but to boot up. Now let me see. How many we got now? I think we're okay. There. Oh, no, it's not ready yet. Let's see. All right, come on. Let me try. There we go. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And we're not quite an hour yet, so we might do this. Okay, here's another fun one. This is the Ghostbuster symbol as a zombie. I've done a sketch card of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now I'm going to do the Ghostbusters logo as a zombie. So this is sort of a fun one. It just, again, as a reminder, because I don't know when people are tuning in, but these sketch cards are available as add-ons for only $5, assuming that there's still some left. I haven't looked to see what's left on there, but they're limited to. I did a run of 10 when I first kicked off the Kickstarter, and they sold out really quick. And now to close out the Kickstarter, because this is the final day, I added another 10, and I don't know where they are as far as if they've sold out or not. So let's see. But if you haven't backed yet and you want to, you can back at a physical level and just go in, and there'll be a place where you can add on stuff, find the sketch cards if they're still available, and just add one of those to your tier. Or if you've already backed the project at a physical level, make this finger fall off. If you have already backed at a physical level, then you could go in and just adjust your pledge and put and add one of these to your existing pledge. Oh, I forgot to zoom in. Let's see. Oh, not that way. Oh, that's too much. Oh, I get too much. All right, there we go. All right. We got Dylan in the chat. Hey, Dylan. Dylan is ever present, always showing up. I definitely appreciate your support, Dylan. Yeah, it's. I feel like Josh doing all these live streams. I usually don't do that many, but if any of you guys are ever thinking of doing a Kickstarter, the month or however long you're doing the Kickstarter. Usually, I wouldn't recommend doing longer than a month. But yeah, it's going to consume most of your time, and a lot of that is just going to be promoting and finding out ways to let people know about it. And these live streams are one of those ways. So yeah, here it is. There's the Ghostbuster symbol as a zombie. All right. We got 3 more to go. And I mean, and speaking of what I was talking about before, as far as occupying so much of your time, I mean, I am, tomorrow I think I probably have to take a long nap or something, because that'll be the end of it, and then I can But the good thing is I will have all these sketch cards done, the books designed. The only thing that I can't do right now that I have to wait till I get these back for is the remarks where I draw on the covers and do a little piece of artwork. And those were limited to, I think those were limited to about 10. And then some of the people that backed those, I mean, once they were gone, they were gone. But some of the people that backed those canceled their pledge. So I probably won't have to do 10 total. But really, that's the only thing left that I have to really create. Everything else is ready to go. So if you do back it, it's not going to be like a lot of Kickstarters where you're going to have to wait a long time to get your books. I mean, I'm hoping to get these out to people early to mid June. So I mean, so that's that's almost like you're hardly even waiting a month. That's kind of unheard of with a Kickstarter. So assuming I can pull that off, but that's the goal. And a lot of that comes down to, the printer. Are they going to be able to get everything to me and all that kind of stuff? How long is it going to take for Kickstarter to release the funds and all that stuff? And okay, we got some brains. Okay. Oh, I forgot to even. So this is a zombie who's reading a comic book. So I got to give some comic loves. Hey, we got Thomas Adams in the chat. Hey, Thomas, it's been a while since I've seen you in here. Oh, you can't decide if you want a sketch card or the wax pack. Well, the sketch cards are cheaper, but man, those wax here. Let me pull one up just to show people what we're thinking about here. Oh yeah. So this is the wax pack. So the wax pack trading cards is going to have. This is an add-on you can add if you want. It's got 9 cards, 1 stick of bubble gum, and 1 sticker. Young and the Dead, and these are super authentic. They've got the wax coating on them and everything. So yeah, I don't know. That's a tough decision, Thomas. I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, one's an original piece of artwork. So this is, I mean, this is probably actually valued at much as probably more of a value to it because it's original. But these are super cool, and this will cost you less probably for more value. But this is, I don't know, man. That's a hard one. All right. It's kind of a, I guess I feel like the fact that I've added enough cool things that you're having trouble deciding which to get, that kind of makes me feel like, oh, I'm doing a decent job here putting out, because I really try to do innovative stuff. Because here's the thing, with Kickstarters, some people offer like t-shirts and things like that. If you're ever running a Kickstarter, that's not something I would recommend doing. One, because you have to deal with the different sizes and everything. Some people offer like little figures but that's going to add a lot of weight to your project. So I try to come up with cool things that are usually paper-based that I can put together with the comic that's not going to add a lot of weight but are still cool. Like, for instance, the 3D print. Because this isn't something you would get every day. It's a cool thing, but it's something that's thin. It's not going to be real heavy, so I can ship it. I don't know what the chances are, but if we hit the next stretch goal, this got smudged. But I've got these. The next stretch goal are these temporary tattoos, so if we can hit those. So there's another thing, not super heavy, but that's cool. I mean, get these cool zombie tattoos. So I try to come up with really cool extras and things like that are more practical from a shipping standpoint. So yeah, anyway, so that's something to consider if you're ever going to run a Kickstarter, because as much as I love the idea of like toys and things like that. Hold on, sorry. As much as I love that idea, I totally messed up the spelling of zombie. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. Oh well. I'm just gonna go in here and make this look like it's all supposed to be messed up. All right. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, you got to really think about stuff. And I tend to do a lot of research when I do stuff because it's been a while since I've done a Kickstarter, and there's a lot of new features and things that weren't available the last time. So like all the add-ons. I think the last time I ran a Kickstarter, I had add-ons, but they were things that I had to calculate myself. But now Kickstarter will kind of do all that for you. There's also a Kickstarter took a lot of they took a lot of what Indiegogo was doing, like with because before, like the pledges on the side, unless you added them yourself, they didn't even have like a place for like a picture of all the things you were getting. So they kind of borrowed that from Indiegogo and the late backer pledges, that they kind of borrowed that from BackerKit, and so they're taking what other people are doing, and which is good because for me personally, Kickstarter has the biggest kind of user base. Now I don't know how much that helped me with this campaign, because I don't think Kickstarter's really done any, like if you were to just try to look for my campaign on Kickstarter, you probably have to dive deep, super deep into the comics section before you even come across it. I've never got the Project We Love on Kickstarter. I'm really going to make an effort that this next, and one of the things I found out when I was listening to the guy that kind of makes that decision, they kind of have a prejudice against zombie books and superhero books. So if you're doing a book with zombies or superheroes, chances are you're not gonna get the Project You Love. So, and that could be, just why it's pretty much anyone that most of the people that have found my Kickstarters because I did some sort of promotion or other people have helped me share. And like on Facebook, I really didn't have much faith that Facebook would do anything for me, because it seems like it's purposely designed to keep people there, and anytime you put a link into anything, they're not going to share it. But I was really pleasantly surprised with, for one, how many people shared my post and things like that. So if you shared like a Facebook post or anything, thank you. But yeah, I was surprised with Facebook. The other thing is like my mailing list. I have a fairly decent sized mailing list, so that, I've used that. I've done some cross promotions on other podcasts and things like that. So, and with other Kickstarters, like I did a cross promotion with Gold Key Comics. Oh, and if you're interested in like the Artcasters yesterday, we interviewed Lance, the CEO of Gold Key Comics, and that was just that was a fantastic interview. I suggest anyone go out and check that out, because he was just super candid about publishing, starting up a new company, because even though Gold Key as a brand has been around for a long time, the kind of rebirth in what they're doing and trying to keep it as close to the original formula for Gold Key, it's fairly new. But he kind of went in very candidly, talked about the whole, kind of the ups and downs of publishing comics and things like that, and kind of gave there was a lot of really interesting things that he brought up that I didn't even know about, stuff that they're working or things that are happening. So definitely, if you haven't checked out that Artcasters episode, definitely do that. That was the one that aired last night with Lance Linderman from Gold Key Comics. Check that out. That's on my channel, because sometimes Josh and I split duties of hosting Artcasters. So next week it'll be his turn to host. But yeah, that was a really cool interview. So I did a kind of cross promotion with them. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Kickstarter doesn't want to give me any love, because I got a zombie book. Even though I would argue that it's very different from your typical zombie book. I mean, it's more of a, to me, it's less about the zombies and more about just the 80s nostalgia, kid adventure. It's just a different kind of a setting. So, but something to think about if you want to promote, if you get a superhero book or a zombie book. He specifically said those are two that they don't really, I guess his argument was there's so many of them, or they're, kind of overplayed or whatever, but which, there's some truth to that. But I still think there's people doing something interesting interesting things within those genres. But they certainly don't have any qualms about promoting adult content. Most of the stuff you're going to see on Kickstarter is just all going to be, adult content books, which definitely there's a place for that. And I'm not a prude or anything, and I don't have a problem with that. But, give some other stuff some love too, But I think my next project is going to be original enough that I think I can get that project we love on it. Plus, I'm going to be doing a lot of promotion and stuff, so we'll see. And it'll be interesting to see how much of a difference that makes, because obviously with a base as big as Kickstarter, if they actually recognize it and share it out, I can't imagine that wouldn't help you. But I don't know. Oh, I forgot to say this is this is a zombie listening to a Sony Walkman. I forgot to mention what that one was. And where are we at? We're at an hour, so we got another half hour. We got one more. I think we can do it. We got one more to ink, and then we'll color these bad boys up. All right, so this one, I'm going to see a little bit of the kind of rib cage coming through. Again, these are sort of messy drawings, so it's when I say I know what I'm drawing, to you it just may look like a kind of a big mess, but it fits the theme of zombies, so. All right. All right, here we go. Zombie with the Sony Walkman. Okay. Oh, thanks, Thomas. So Thomas says he went with the sketch card. All right, yeah. Well, like I said, I will have I think there's going to be late backer things, so I don't know how that works. I assume later, like if you decide like maybe payday's Friday or something, you like, oh, I really want that wax pack. You may be able to. I think you might. I don't know how the whole late backer thing works, but you may be able to. I know the price does kind of jump up a couple bucks per tier after the thing's over. But yeah, I mean, and I'll probably have some leftovers. So if I have any leftovers, I might just put them on my website. So because I'll probably make more than just what I need. So it might not be your last opportunity to get the wax pack, but thanks for backing the project, Thomas. I appreciate it. Yeah, I am. That's good to hear that I'm getting because I'm getting some late backers coming in right at the last minute to help me out there, because it is going to help from eliminate what I pay out of pocket now that I've made the decision that I'm gonna do the offset printing and get a big print run. Oh, I'm still drawing that, and I thought it was done. Okay, one last one. This one is kind of a b-boy kind of zombie with a big boombox radio. All right, it's getting hot in here in the studio. We've got the doors closed because my girlfriend's over there watching TV. Let's see here. All right, b-boy zombie. And it's fitting that this is could this be the last bit of, no, it's not, because I still have to do the remarks. I was going to say, could this be the last bit of artwork I designed for Young and the Dead? And it's a b-boy, which kind of leads into my next project, which is kind of hip hop themed. But no, I forgot. I still have to do my remarks for the early bird tiers, which are all gone now. So, but I'll be doing some remark covers, which is super fun. Oh, and I forgot, it's been a while since I mentioned it. If you happen to be in Arizona, I will be at Surprise Comics on this Saturday for Free Comic Book Day. I'll be doing sketches and and that it's good. That's good too, because I think whatever I earn from there is going to go towards me, shipping these books and printing these books and stuff too. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm wherever we hit, I'm happy. I mean, just the fact that we can do this, we can crowdfund a book like that, I mean, back in the day, if you wanted to do an independent comic, I mean, Eastman and Laird, I think they took out they either mortgage, they put a second mortgage on their house, or I think they borrow, money, a credit card, and maybe not them in particular. I think their uncle one of their uncles financed it, some of it or something. I don't remember exactly, but I know a lot of people, they, put it on a credit card or did whatever they could. But now, and that was the case that's why Peter Laird started the Xeric Foundation. And if you're not familiar with the Xeric Foundation, Joshua Kimball, who's my co-host on Artcasters, he actually was one of the recipients to one of the grants to create his first comic book, Numb. But yeah, he created that so that people like up and coming new cartoonists would have the ability to create their own, comic book, and they would give a grant so that people could create their comic, and that's how Josh started off making comics. But after a while, they discontinued the Xeric Foundation because it wasn't really as necessary anymore, because Kickstarter. Now it's not like you can just create a comic and put it up on Kickstarter and hope that it's gonna earn a bunch of money, which like I just said, I don't think Kickstarter themselves have sent anyone my way. Maybe, we'll see. I have to look at the analytics, but definitely not a whole lot. Now that they can, if they really like your book, and if it doesn't have zombies in it or superheroes, then that could be a good thing, and they'll share your stuff out. But anyway, but in order to crowdfund, you have to have the crowd before you get the funding. So you got to use whatever you can. I know social media is a little difficult now, and I'm not great at social media. I am thinking about getting on, if you count Substack, I mean, I do use Substack. Like I said, Facebook, I'm not a fan of Facebook, but Facebook, I mean, it did help. I mean, there's a lot of people on there that shared my stuff out, and so Facebook was definitely a big factor of a lot of people backing my book. But Facebook as a platform, I'm not a huge fan of. Now, I think I'm going to get a Blue Sky account and Facebook wasn't Facebook, it used to be great. And, the reason why is if you're familiar with the whole enshittification theory, or not theory, but, kind of concept that Cory Doctorow kind of talks about, where, first platforms, and my friend Corey Kirk could probably do a better sum up of what that is, but first social media platforms are really great for the users, the people posting and everything. Then it becomes really great for the advertisers. Then it's not so great for the users or the advertisers, but it's great for the investors. And then the last stage is that it's just not good for anyone. And that's kind of where Facebook is. Now, that isn't to say that a Blue Sky won't go down that same path, but right now, because they're a newer company, they're in the beginning stage. They haven't hit any of those other stages. So everyone that I've talked to that's on there, now this isn't like a political thing. I don't know whatever, political leanings you have. Some people say it's a little more liberal on there. I don't care about all that. I just care about a platform that will let you share stuff out and not like stifle your post, and will share it to people, and that will allow you to build an audience. That's what I care about from a marketing standpoint. So So that's why and I say all this stuff, and then I'll I'll probably start up a a thing and not post anything because I just suck at social media. Because I get involved in my drawing, and I don't want to like post and stuff and do all that other stuff. I just want to draw, but that's not the best way to do this to get your word out. All right, here we go. That was the last one. Let's see. Let me check back to the chat here. So glad you did the trade, so I can read the. Yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of waiting for that. So I am too. I mean, that was the plan all along, was the trade. I mean, but I just didn't want to work for 10 years and have nothing to show for it until the very end. So that's why I did the kind of single issues. And there are also people that like those single issues. And if you're one of those people, then you can, if you've got all the other single issues, if you've been following me for a while, you can get the just the single issue of the final issue here. Or, you can get the whole thing, full story. And there's a lot of extras in here. So even if you have the single issues, I mean, there's a lot of, there's some pinups and things, and there's a lot of like extra little artwork and stuff in there, little Easter eggs and things that you're not going to find in the single issues. So, all right, let me sign this one. Now that we're done inking these, I'm going to play a trailer. Well, first, let me read the rest of let's see. Oh, Dylan, thanks. You backed it too. All right. I appreciate that. Yeah, I totally, and I understand. And I think you're talking about watching what you spend. Here, I'll switch over to get on camera. Talking about watching what you spend. I mean, this campaign has just been crazy as far as roller coaster. I had a lot of people that backed at like higher tiers, and then they had to cancel their pledge just because, everything's going on. So I totally understand. And maybe this wasn't the best time to do my Kickstarter. But yeah, Dylan, thanks. Even if it's really tight, I do appreciate you supporting me and everything. So thank you for that. And like I was telling Thomas, I will probably make some extra ones and put them on my website. So just at your, whenever if you really do want these, I'll try to make some of these available again. I mean, I sell a lot of wax packs. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in these in particular, because it's not like the other ones I sell that are like things that people know. Or that are based on like similar to like, I'm doing a set that's similar to like Garbage Pail Kids, not Garbage Pail Kids, but similar. And I think just because it reminds people of that, they'll pick it up. But not a whole lot of people know about it. So I probably won't have a lot of them, but I will put a few of these up on when I put them together, I'll make some extras and put them up online. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. While I let these cards dry before we start adding the colors, I'm gonna put on a trailer. It's gonna be a quick, not so quick, but about 3-minute trailer for the book. If you haven't seen it already, it'll tell you all about it. And then we've got Matthew Creek. Is it Creek? Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Sorry if I didn't. I'm getting the comic Oh, you're talking about the comic you're working on. Awesome. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah. So when you get your comic done, just send me some preview stuff and we do the art casters, and send it to me. And the one thing you do have to come up with is a good topic, something to talk about on the show, because we do like to promote stuff, but we also want to make sure that there's some kind of, it's not just all promotion, that there's a subject and stuff we can talk to. So yeah, just hit me up on that. All right, so I'm going to play the trailer, and after the trailer's done, we'll come back, we'll color these sketch cards in. So let's do that now.
The 1980s were a great time to be a kid. We had the freedom to take off on our bikes, and no one cared where we went as long as we were back before the streetlights came on. We drank straight from the garden hose. We built forts and tree houses, ramps for our BMX and skateboards. 80s kids were fearless, and that was represented in the movies we watched. Movies where kids were the heroes. On the big screen, we could see children our age fighting a family of ruthless criminals aboard a resurrected pirate ship. We witnessed kids saving the world, battling dark forces in the form of classic monster archetypes. Some kids cobbled together makeshift rockets and traveled to outer space. Others would befriend an extraterrestrial and help him evade shadowy government agencies and find a way home. These are the stories I loved as a kid, and what inspired me to create my own kid-centric adventure comic book series, Young and the Dead, No Zombies Allowed. Young and the Dead follows the adventures of 11-year-old Sam Young and his little brother Tad as they wake up one morning to find most of the adults in their quiet suburban neighborhood have fallen victim to a horrific virus that has transformed them into flesh-eating zombies. Together, they team up with a ragtag group of neighborhood misfits, including Sam's wisecracking best friend Mitch, a live-action role-play aficionado named Lloyd, a tough-as-nails tomboy, Oksana, Ox for short, Sam's secret crush Stephanie, and her overprotective older brother Ricardo, aka Rocky. It's a race against time as these unlikely heroes fight to survive and unlock the clues to a cure that could potentially reverse the effects of the deadly zombie outbreak and save the world in the process. I'm Scott Serklin, and this is the Underground Lair, where for over a decade I've been working on this passion project, and now the story is finally complete. Young and the Dead has everything I love about comics: adventure, humor, horror, mystery, and of course, zombies. This comic is my love letter to the kid adventure films of the 1980s. Movies like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., and more recently, Stranger Things. Young and the Dead captures all of the nostalgia of that era of storytelling, only with a lot more zombies. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, for the first time, you'll be able to get the complete story in trade paperback. Or if you've been collecting the single issues, the oversized final issue is also available. All of the artwork is complete and ready to go. I just need your help with the printing cost in order to make this project a reality. If you love 80s nostalgia, kid adventures, if you love zombies, then this is the project for you. Just check out the campaign. There are tons of really cool add-ons and extras, limited edition prints, vintage wax pack trading cards, sketch covers, remarks, exciting stretch goals to be announced, free shipping to the US, and extras for international backers. It has been a long road, and I am so excited to share the epic conclusion of Young and the Dead with all of you. So thanks for your support over the years. Thanks for your future support, and let's wrap this thing.
Okay, we are back. So here we go. We're going to start coloring these things in. Thanks for watching that again. If you've been watching all these live streams, you've probably seen that trailer like 3 or 4 times. So, but I just more than anything, I need some time to let these things dry. So, all right. So here we go. We're going to start off with the Tron one. So again, we're going to start light to dark. Oh, Corey's. Hey, Corey, how's it going? Oh, good. I didn't show up right as. No. I was just doing a trailer because I had inked all these sketch cards, and now I just needed some time to let them dry so I could color them in. So the goal is to do. I only have like 10 minutes left, really. A little more, like 12 minutes. I was going to try to. The goal was to color. Or to ink and color 10 sketch cards in 90 minutes. Now, you know what? Now that I think about it, I did a lot of preamble in the beginning as far as just talking about stuff. So I probably have a little more time than that. So we'll see. We'll see how we do. All right. So we got that. But this here is the Tron zombie. And I sorry if you've been watching this from the beginning. I'm going to tend to repeat myself because I know people jump in at different times. So I'll keep mentioning some of the same stuff I've mentioned already. So bear with me if you've been watching all along. But these sketch cards, assuming there's some left, I haven't checked to see. But these sketch cards are only a $5 add-on to your physical pledge. If you back at a physical level, you can get one of these added onto your pledge for the low cost of like $5, which is insane for an original piece of even a sketch card. Like I said, this Saturday I will be at Surprise Comics doing mostly sketch covers. I don't do a lot of people. I think people opt for they want the big sketch cover. But every once in a while people want sketch cards, and I charge around $25 to $30 for a sketch card like this. And you can pick one up, add one to your tier for just $5. All right, let's go. It's a little bit darker here. All right, now where's that little white one? Okay, I'm gonna add some Kirby Crackle in the background. So Matthew says, I plan to have playing cards as a Kickstarter add-on. Now, yeah, that's kind of a cool, yeah. Should I print one card or for all main characters, 4 total, or one card for all 6 characters total? That's, yeah, I don't, I mean, that's kind of up to you. Is it going to be like a pack, or are you going to sell them separate, or have them separate as separate add-ons? I'm not sure. Yeah. It's difficult to say, you know. Whatever you do, I would say make sure that the artwork on the cards is just like, if you're going to do them separately anyway. With a pack, you can't. With a pack, it's kind of a blind thing, so you don't really know what you're going to get. But if you're going to do them separately, you got to make sure, because chances are a lot of people might not be familiar with your characters to begin with. It's kind of like a lot of people will say, oh, I'm going to put my company's logo or my comic book company logo on a shirt or something. Chances are people aren't going to care too much about that if they're not familiar with it, unless you're like a kind of a name sort of brand. So like, for instance, if I ever in the past, when I've done t-shirt designs, I try to make something that people actually care about. A good example, this isn't a t-shirt, but I've got, I don't know if I have, yeah. So when I go to comic conventions, I usually ask people if they want a sticker. And I'm not going to just put my logo on it, because who cares? Who's going to care? I mean, people might just because it's a free sticker. But what I do is I have these that say I have issues, because this is something any comic book fan is going to appreciate, no matter if they know my brand or not, and it's got my URL on there. So stuff like that you got to think about. So if you're doing like characters, just make sure that they're just super cool looking, because chances are they might not be as familiar with your characters. So you got to kind of ease people into that kind of stuff. All right, we got one down. All right, here we go with the sloth zombie. Where is that? Okay. Do my Kirby Crackle first. I'm doing a little differently this time. Yeah. I don't think we're going to make our goal, but that's okay. I could stop streaming at 90 minutes and just say, oh, that's what we got done. But I got to do these anyway, so I might as well do it live, you know? All right, so for the logo, do this. Superman. Okay, we go next step up. Just working light to dark, gradually adding. And as you can see, I'm just kind of blotting things in here. It's almost like a kind of like a watery color technique. Oh, his shirt's blue. I forgot. So we want to make sure. I forgot that he's got. Now, obviously, I'm not using blue, but I do want to indicate that there's a color there instead of white. All right, and then let's make his suspenders darker, so that pops out. And let's do, since this is going to be a red, we want that to kind of pop out too. So I'll make that darker. Okay. Add a little shadows under the eyes and the ears, where it would be a little darker here and there. There we go. All down here, just do a little outline. Make this guy pop off the page. Number 2. Let me get rid of the ones that we did last time. We'll start setting some of these up over here. Oh, you were thinking of pack? Yeah, I mean, the problem with, I mean, I have experimented a lot with trading cards, so I've got a system that I figured out. But I don't know what, like, printing, unless you print it. So I print my stuff myself, my cards myself. If you're gonna have them printed somewhere, I assume with all the game companies and stuff out there, there's companies that can print like short runs of each one. When I was first looking into having other people print my things, it was like you could get a set made of one particular, design, but if you wanted to add more, it was a whole different thing. Where, there's companies, like, if you compare it to like business cards, there's companies like, I think Moo does this, where you can put like 5 different designs and they'll just mix them up and add, and you'll be able to do different cards, different kind of business cards. So I assume there's trading card companies like that will print them, but I'm not sure because it's just been so long. I print them myself. But if it's a pack, if you're asking, I mean, if you're only doing 4 cards, that would be a super thin pack. So I would probably opt for the 6 cards. That's a little more. Seems like that makes a little more sense. Okay, let's see so I don't know which would be darker anyway. Let's just do that. I'll do both, and then I'll make one darker. Then when I go to the next stage, we'll make his hair darker, and we may go darker still. This shirt is red, whereas the jacket is a light blue. Yeah, even though I'm working in a monotone, I'm still trying to think of what colors would show up darker than others. Typically reds, like when you have a red and if you print it, if you were trying to print in a black and white, it'll show up real dark. That's why if you've ever seen where they try to, when they had scripts, like I think you could, like if you watch old stuff where people are talking about like the Star Wars prequels, the scripts were printed on red paper. That means if anyone tried to make a copy, like a Xerox copy of it, it wouldn't show up because the red just looks like black and the ink and just merges with the ink. So red, when I think of red, it tends to be it prints darker. So that's kind of what I'm thinking when I do that. All right, got that. I already got most of the. Okay, we got the Bender Zombie from Breakfast Club. Now on to the Care Bear Zombie. Oh, thanks, Dylan, for putting that in the chat. I knew there were things out there. So Dylan says, look into the Game Crafter for your cards, Matthew. So they do 18 cards per sheet. I could have asked my kids too, because my son has been developing a card game for a while. So, but yeah, I think I remember him mentioning Game Crafter. I'm just not much of a gamer, so I don't know about a lot of that stuff. But once you start getting into that, there's got to be tons and tons of resources, more than comics, as far as games anyway. But yeah. Oh, I forgot I got to do some curvy crackle out here. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Free Comic Book Day this Saturday, doing some sketches. That should be a good time. All right. Oops. Is this? No. This, I think, yeah. Just kind of some fur here. Once again, the heart. I think it's red. I don't know. Well, this is a different. It's not based on an actual. based on an actual Care Bear, I think. Other than I think there is one with the heart. Just this one's got. Let's see. This one's got the bite taken out of the heart. All right, there we go. And now we're going to add some white. I'm going to put, since usually I just do zombies with white eyes, at this one I thought it was important to have kind of a cartoony eye, so I'm going to add a little highlight there. That's a, I don't know if it's a hack, but it's something that really helps when you're doing your character, especially if you're doing it in black and white. Just that little dot on the eyes. I went through and made sure that all my characters had that little highlight on their eyes when I did the comic, and it just added so much. It really just adds a lot of life to people when you just put that little glare on the eye. Just a little tip there. All right, now we got our zombie reading a 3D comic. Wait, oh shoot. I made him have the 3D glasses. He doesn't have 3D glasses. He just got dark glasses. What am I doing? There we go. You guys didn't even notice it. You didn't call me out. I'm not paying attention. All right, there we go. All right. He has just regular sunglasses. All right. But I cut that. All right. Okay, now we go to 3D zombie. Where is he? All right. Oh, you know what? Dylan was asking if I had any other stretch goal ideas besides temporary tattoos. I hadn't given it too much thought because in past I wasn't. Perhaps I should have been more confident that I could hit that. Now, if some weird thing happens where like Kickstarter's like, hey, check this out, and they share at the last minute, and somehow I hit that second stretch goal, then I guess I'd have to come up with something on the fly. But it might have been I was toying around with a few things. One of them might have been like adding more, like another pinup to the book or something like that. Think like actually, adding things to the book. Could be another print that I threw in. I hadn't got to that because I would have, if I saw that we were getting closer to that, hitting that last stretch goal, I probably would have started thinking a little more, being a little more prepared for that. But at this point, I mean, we're still a little ways from that. So, and it's, like I said, it's the last day, and the stretch goals won't continue if it goes into the late backer pledges. Like if people like late back and we hit what the stretch goal was, unfortunately, that's not really going to earn a stretch goal. It's only while the campaign is live. So, or I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be. I don't know. We'll see. Because why would I? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be. We'll see. If a lot of people want to pledge late backer, which again, the late backer pledge, it adds a little more to you definitely save money on each tier if you back it when it's the project is live. So, okay. Yeah, at one point I was thinking that this was going to be a stretch goal, because I like this idea. Like when I talk about different fun things you could do, this zombie apocalypse survival guide thing. At one point that was going to be a stretch goal, and then I thought, you know what? People need something more because otherwise people just wait to get the comic when it's on my website or whatever. So people need something more when they back it. That's part of you gotta offer people something that they can't get normally. You got to get some Kickstarter exclusives. So I made sure everyone that backs at the physical level got a really kind of cool print. All right. So we are past our 90 minutes. Now, I did do a lot of talking in the beginning before I actually started working on these. So, but we're just going to continue on. This same thing happened the last time I did these sketch things. But one thing I'm going to have to do is switch out my battery again because it's going to go dead pretty soon here. So give me a minute to do that. All right. Okay. Hold on. Come on. Why isn't it? Okay. Let's see. We'll give it a minute. Drink. All right, so we've gone. So I'm guessing there's probably only about, if you're watching this live right now, there's probably only about 8.5 hours to go left on the campaign. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, there's lots of cool stuff. Before I close out, I'll show you some of the other things, but I want to get these drawn right away. So let's see if this comes up. Yep. Okay, we're back in business. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, and move the card up here so people can see it. All right, so now we've got our zombie taking a Polaroid picture. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. All right. Shake it. All right. Okay. So this one I can add some highlights on because it's got, the flash and different stuff there. Okay. Get a darker color here. Oh, okay. That's a good question. Was it hard to come up with the title Young and the Dead? And was the title inspired by the show Young and the Restless? So no, it wasn't inspired by Young and the Restless. In fact, that was one of there was a point where it's like, oh, are there people going to kind of compare it to a soap opera? Do I want to call it that? So the title Young and the Dead kind of works on a couple different levels. One, because they're kids and zombies, and it does kind of have like it kind of has a ring to it. But the other reason why it's called Young and the Dead is because Young is the last name of the main character. So, and that's why some people have said like the Young and the Dead, and I have to kind of correct them because it's not the Young and the Dead, because that wouldn't make sense, because it's the kid's last name. The two brothers, that's their last name. So it works on a couple different levels. But because of that, I really put a lot when I think of a title. Like my next book is called Hip Optimus Rhyme, and obviously kind of an homage to Optimus Prime, but it's got hip hop in there, it's got rhyme. It's like, so unless I decide to change it, but I kind of like the title there. So it kind of I try to find the perfect title, and I don't know, when I originally it was called, I think the original, like I was looking back at some of my old files, and there was a file that said something like Junior Zombie Hunters or something like that, which before I came up with Young and the Dead, that was what I was temporarily calling it. So, and then somewhere, I don't know, I can't remember exactly when I settled on that, but yeah, that was sort of the reason, because I like the fact that it kind of summed up what it was. It was kind of had a double meaning with the kids being young, with the kids. I wanted it to have something to do. And there's also the reason why this, I doubt I will ever do another series, based on Young and the Dead. But if I did, this one is called No Zombies Allowed. So there's kind of so I wanted that because I wanted people to know it was a zombie book. So you might not be able to get it from this, but it's kind of got a horror theme to it. I mean, Young and the Dead, just having dead in it. And also that came in to bite me when I ran my second Kickstarter, because Facebook wouldn't share it for originally, because they just, their algorithm saw the title and they thought it was something like there was something meant to harm kids, because their algorithm, the robots just look through and see the words young and dead, put them together and say, oh, that's bad, and not having any idea of what it really is. So there was a couple days like I couldn't promote it at all, because, and that really hurt me on that. But yeah, so if I ever do another one, and maybe I'll have a different thing, but I doubt that. I just got so many other ideas, and I've kind of told that story, you know. But so that's some of the ideas behind the title, how I came up with it and everything. All right. Oh wait, I didn't do the do some highlights here. Do some glare on the picture itself, and we'll kind of go and pop this guy out where we need to. Oh, that's the wrong pen. That's why it's not working that great. Hopefully I got enough of these, because I'm going to need them for Free Comic Book Day, and I didn't order any new ones since probably might be too late now. But I think I got some backups. Okay. Right, where are we? Okay. Let's start. Yeah, good question, Dylan. That's all right. Nope. Oh. I kind of went over that, but we'll fix that with the white paint. So we got to kind of figure out how we're going to do this. Well, I'm drawing this in, but this is, I'll go over it with another pass on the darker marker, so it pops from this background color. But you know, I don't want to do too much here because he's a ghost, so he's going to be, for the most part, pretty white, except for he's also a zombie, so a zombie ghost. I don't know how that would actually work. I don't know how you could have a zombie ghost, but it's a fun, it's a fun little, you know, thing to draw. Again, this is going to be, this would be red if it was in color, so it's going to be a little darker, and that'll help pop everything else out. And some things there. All right. Yeah, I got to remember this little one is the one I want. And then let's do that. That way he's kind of breaking out of that border. We'll paint over the border. I mean, you could just do so much cool stuff with these little things. All right. We got three more. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a blast doing all these live streams. It's fun. I mean, part of me, I mean, I typically, when I do my YouTube videos, especially the stuff the kind of the art lab videos where I'm taking all the retro stuff and reinventing it, they take a lot of time to do, yeah, and it's I love the way they come out, but sometimes I wonder if it's worth it. But it is fun. It's kind of cool just to do the live stream, because you can just go on here and put out videos. So even though I didn't get a chance to do my normal video this month, I'm hoping next month I'm going to have a crossover with Kevin Cross. We've been talking about one. I've got to touch base with him because we've both been kind of busy. But if it doesn't come out next month, it'll probably be the month after. But I'm really looking forward to that, because we've just been talking about it and having some cool ideas of collaborations we could do. And if you haven't, do a YouTube search on Kevin Cross with the C, and check out his channel, because it's very like inspirational, motivational, and he really does, you know, kind of like I was talking about with the edits. He takes a lot of time to make just fantastic videos. And I know he's working on, I've seen parts of the new one he's working on that he's been posting to his Patreon, so he should have a new one coming out. Okay, we got 2 more to go. We've got the zombie listening to the Walkman. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I really do appreciate everyone watching this, keeping me company. You know, I mean, I would draw if it was just me with nobody, but it is nice to have people in the chat asking questions. Chris says Kevin Cross is dope. Definitely, I agree. Let's see. Where's the dark one? Oops. Oh, I forgot to do the crackle in there. Hold on. All right. So yeah, free comic book day coming up. I always have people come in and request the weirdest ideas for sketch covers. So I'm kind of anxious to see what people are come to me with. You know, they're always super fun, but it's just like, wow, man, what comes out of your imagination? All right. All right, one more, and that is the B-Boy Zombie. It's nice to have all these done. Yeah. Oh. Keep picking up the wrong thing. Okay. He's taking up most of the frame, so not a whole lot of room for this Kirby Crackle stuff here. Okay. All right. But I don't know. Are you guys doing anything for comic book day wherever you guys are? Are you going to any comic book stores? You can get some free comics. I gotta email my comic book store and let them know which free comics to put aside for me, because I'm going to roll in there a little later than it opens, and a lot of them might be gone or gone through, and I won't have time to get up and go check them out. So there's a lot of videos online that will tell you which comics are going to be out that are free. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to let them know. Oh yeah, I want to get this. I had some written down. What were some of the ones that I'm trying to remember? Now I'm forgetting some of the ones I wanted to get a hold of. Yeah, I'll have to see. I have to rewatch one of those videos and like take notes if I can't find my original notes. All right. We're almost done. There we go. Okay, let's zoom back out here. Oops, wrong way. See, here we go. We'll show you the cards. So if you backed at the physical level and you decided to add a sketch card, if you want, you can get a random one. I can just throw it in, but there's one in particular you like. Just let me know, and I will, via email is probably the best way, because I don't know the Kickstarter. There were a couple messages from people that messaged me on Kickstarter that didn't get forwarded to my email. So just send it to scott@circworks.com if there's one of these in particular you want. let me know and I'll hold it aside. Otherwise, you can be surprised and I'll just pick a cool one. Hopefully they're all cool. So, but there's that. The other thing, and I'll show you some of the, I don't think these ones here are taken yet. I put the few that are signed that people requested particular. Let's see. Let's see if I can show you all the ones. There's an E.T. zombie. There's a Prince, Hulk Hogan. Here. So take a snap. I think those are the ones that haven't been claimed or that, most people I think are just happy to get a sketch. I don't think they care what they get. But if you do want one of these, then let me know, scott@circlworks.com. So take a picture or whatever. I'm going to move these. And one last time before I go, thank you everyone in the chat. But I just want to I wanted to talk about the Kickstarter once again. There's a pretty big level that will get you a custom, kind of custom. I mean, if you have a request, as long as it's one character and it'll be in this kind of style, and it's got to be a zombie, something based on the 80s. There's sketch cover tier. It's a little higher tier. It's like $150, but just keep in mind that when I do these sketches, like Free Comic Day, I will be doing these kind of sketches for like 125 to 150. But not only are you getting that for 150, you're also getting this, the book. You're also getting the single issue. You're also getting this. You're also getting this in the 3D glasses, plus the digital PDF. So that's a pretty good deal if you got the money to spend, which I know we don't all have. So I don't know that I do if I would. I haven't backed a Kickstarter at $150 in a while, I can tell you that. But anyway, so there's that. But there's all kinds of different tiers. Of course, there's one with the base, the book, and this comes with it. And we hit this stretch goal. There's this. There's another one that has these things here. There's add-ons. So add-ons we've got. I know Corey's still in the chat, but we've got Corey's awesome cover as a postcard, along with the design I did as a postcard, and Joshua Kimball's as a postcard. This is a free postcard pack. That's an add-on you can add. If you want to add on a cool print pack, here's this awesome print by Federico Marchetti, awesome print by Gary Hodges, awesome print by Russ Leach. If you are an international backer, you get this because you got to pay a little extra for the shipping. So I want to give you something extra to offset that. The no trespassing experiments, the I Heart Zombies, the Keep Out Zombie Virus, another 3D print with the 3D glasses, and this zombie threat level. You get that. Or if you're in the US and you're like, oh, that looks cool, I want to back that. I mean, I want to get that, but I'm not international. Then you can just pay for that as an add-on. I don't know if we'll hit this, but our next stretch goal is the zombie tattoos, temporary tattoos. If we hit that, then everyone's going to get these cool zombie tattoos, and I will include I'll include the instructions on how they work, and everything like that. So there's that. I think that's just about it. Like, again, this is last day of the campaign. There's only, as I'm recording this, you're watching this live, there's probably only about 8.5 hours left, I think. So if you catch it within that amount of time, consider backing it. If you're watching this after the fact, there will be late pledges, but the price does go up a little bit for those. So try to get in when the campaign's still live. And I don't know how long those late pledges will go. I'll probably cut them off. I've never done them before, so I don't know how they work really with Kickstarter, but I'll probably cut them off as soon as I'm ready to ship everything. So Dylan says, good night. Congratulations. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Whether you could back it, whether you shared it, whether you just been here hanging out with me, I appreciate it. But yeah, I can tell you one thing. Tomorrow I'll be kind of resting and relaxing because this has been, it's just been, oh man, it's taken up a lot. It takes a lot of time to concentrate on one of these Kickstarters. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are helping me to produce this thing, which I love. It, over 10 years of my life, and I'm just so happy with the way it's come out. And when I get these back from the printers, it's just going to be like, wow, I'm just, super stoked. So thanks again, everyone. I'll see you guys. I don't know if I'll have another live stream anytime soon. But rest assured, when I get kind of moving on my next project, I'll probably be doing a lot more sharing that project because I really want to build some anticipation. But that's so in the beginning stages right now. It's not even something I really I'm ready to. Anyway, I'm just rambling now because I'm so exhausted. Thanks again for everyone backing it. Again, it's real easy. Just go to youngandthedead.com. It'll take you right there. Thanks again for all the love and support. I appreciate all of you. Yeah, that's going to do it. I'm going to close out. Maybe I'll just run I'll run the trailer one more time, and then we'll just close out with that. So thanks again, guys.
1980s were a great time to be a kid. We had the freedom to take off on our bikes and no one cared where we went as long as we were back before the streetlights came on. We drank straight from the garden hose. We built forts and tree houses, ramps for our BMX and skateboards. 80s kids were fearless, and that was represented in the movies we watched. Movies where kids were the heroes. On the big screen, we could see children our age fighting a family of ruthless criminals aboard a resurrected pirate ship. We witnessed kids saving the world, battling dark forces in the form of classic monster archetypes. Some kids cobbled together makeshift rockets and traveled to outer space. Others would befriend an extraterrestrial and help him evade shadowy government agencies and find a way home. These are the stories I loved as a kid, and what inspired me to create my own kid-centric adventure comic book series, Young and the Dead: No Zombies Allowed. Young and the Dead follows the adventures of 11-year-old Sam Young and his little brother Tad as they wake up one morning to find most of the adults in their quiet suburban neighborhood have fallen victim to a horrific virus that has transformed them into flesh-eating zombies. Together, they team up with a ragtag group of neighborhood misfits, including Sam's wisecracking best friend Mitch, a live-action role-play aficionado named Lloyd, a tough-as-nails tomboy, Oksana, Ox for short, Sam's secret crush Stephanie, and her overprotective older brother Ricardo, aka Rocky. It's a race against time as these unlikely heroes fight to survive and unlock the clues to a cure that could potentially reverse the effects of the deadly zombie outbreak and save the world in the process. I'm Scott Serklin, and this is the Underground Lair, where for over a decade, I've been working on this passion project, and now the story is finally complete. Young and the Dead has everything I love about comics: adventure, humor, horror, mystery, and of course, zombies. This comic is my love letter to the kid adventure films of the 1980s. Movies like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., and more recently, Stranger Things. Young and the Dead captures all of the nostalgia of that era of storytelling, only with a lot more zombies. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, for the first time, you'll be able to get the complete story in trade paperback. Or if you've been collecting the single issues, the oversized final issue is also available. All of the artwork is complete and ready to go. I just need your help with the printing costs in order to make this project a reality. If you love 80s nostalgia, kid adventures, if you love zombies, then this is the project for you. Just check out the campaign. There are tons of really cool add-ons and extras, limited edition prints, vintage wax pack trading card, sketch covers, remarks, exciting stretch goals to be announced, free shipping to the US, and extras for international backers. It has been a long road, and I am so excited to share the epic conclusion of Young and the Dead with all of you. So thanks for your support over the years, thanks for your future support, and let's wrap this thing.